steel in the
Yeah.
gates here today. Track
Good
looks
for you,
good.
Jack.
Weather is good, and I'm going to pass this over to Andre. Good morning, Andre. Welcome back here Monday morning.
Man, you the man, Eddie West. Welcome everybody to Top Step TV. This is Fast Markets. Happy Monday, man. Oh man, so much has already happened since the reopen. Let's get right into it, man. In the middle, behind, in front of that gorgeous mountain. Jack in the house. To his right, head coach of the Lunatics, Coach Jay as well. We got about 90 seconds coming in the open. Jack, thoughts coming in?
Has anybody ever looked more at home in Geneva than Scott Pheasant? We should have known. Like, that man
Yeah,
is Switzerland.
absolutely,
He is in his element,
absolutely.
getting deals done. As I was pointing out, though, we basically have the same tariffs we had on China on April 2nd that caused the market to crash, and now we're exploding higher above it.
Well,
Uh, Wild times, Andre. Wild times.
yes, Jack. Who couldn't look more at home in Geneva? Absolutely beautiful. Let's get right down. Coach Jay, head coach of Lunatics, also co-star at the Buzzer. Coach Jay coming into this open, 45 seconds. Thoughts?
Markets are green. I'm not just going to jump in and buy it, but we did hear last week, you better go ahead and buy stocks, and we're seeing the result of that right now. S&P up 3%, Nasdaq up almost 4%. How much room is there left on the? How much meat is left on the bone for the New York session? I think is the question for how we trade this, but I don't want to sell it.
Nope.
True.
Us did say buy it. We were losing money getting long last week. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We got about 15 seconds coming into the open. Again, since the Globex reopened in the Nasdaq, we're up about 900 points. There's some gaps in there as well.
Order filled.
In a little bit, but let's have some fun this week. See what's here to come. Opening bell. We are now open. House account is short one crude from $63.18 last trade. $63.21. Nothing on the till. Let's take a look at some of these prices. We are now open on this Monday. 20,900 last trade in the Nasdaq. 58.48 last trade in the ES. Gold, $32.40. Crude oil, like we just said, 63.19. And the Dow, can't really find way to the upside or downside. 42,365. 365. A little bit of selling here in the ESJ. Any levels you're looking for in the ES or the Nasdaq?
So in the ES, I'm looking at this 58.40, which is VWAP from the announcement, right, from that London session open. It's kind of right where we are right now. Just looking to see whether or not this holds up here. If that doesn't hold, I'm looking at 58.25s.
58.25. All right, 58.40 last trade. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq selling off a little bit here as well. Hogue, we're about 60 seconds into this open. That ass high?
So far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both the NASDAQ and the S&P. There's lots of overnight inventory to the long side. So if we're going to see a pullback, I could see one of Jay's levels looking interesting. We're going to put that VWAP here on that 2 o'clock bar here in the S&Ps. We're already below that in the S&Ps, 58.40 on the 30-minute chart. Maybe it looks different on the 3-minute. We're still 58.40. I don't hate the idea of VWAP 58.26, which is pretty close to one of Jay's levels. But yeah, overnight inventory, when you look at this, it's exceedingly long. So we're probably seeing some overnight inventory adjusting as we speak. Just gives us those of us that are looking for dips to buy better trade location on this. So
All right,
we're still short crude oil. It's 53.18, which is right where it is. NASDAQ, I like VWAP, 20,761. That would look interesting, but upside target, we got 21,148, which is a naked point of control to the upside. In NASDAQ, we've got a ways to go, I think, before we get to any of those in the S&Ps. 6,007. 6,007 is the next naked point of control to the upside. You seeing a little bit of a pullback here? Just wondering, where do we buy the dip?
Yep. All right. Sounds good. Yes, I am seeing the president is scheduled to hold a press conference with the health secretary, I do believe. I just took a quick peek, but I know who has. He's been looking at it all day long. Eddie, I'll throw it to my main man, Eddie. Eddie, happy Monday. What do we got on the schedule?
Well, on the docket today, we got Google going to be speaking here at 9:25. As you mentioned, we do have Trump speaking here with the health secretary. I'm going to be watching that wire here. The only numbers we got here, 10:30. Got a ways to go here. Clear sailing until 10:30 with our 6-month, 3-month. Also at 1 o'clock here, federal budget balance, and that's probably going to be it. But I'm watching for any speakers that are doing nothing today, not playing golf, and want to talk. So I'm going to keep an eye on the prize. Back to you guys.
Man, Eddie. Jack, thoughts on the deal? What do we know, and what are we looking to gain further clarity about from what we saw in that? I guess that
I
press
mean, my
release. What do you
understanding of the deal is that there will be 90 days now where the tariff on China will be 30% instead of 145 or whatever was that. And then they'll figure out what they're doing the next 90 days. As I mentioned, it is interesting because when they released the Kinko's printout, it was 34%, right? So
Yeah,
we're down to 30 now. And when they posted that 34, it sent stocks to the opposite of Valhalla. So it's a little bit curious. I think we got to let it settle out right now. Anytime you have a gap like this where you open up a couple hundred points in the ES, I think it's best to wait a while.
I think that's wise. Very, very wise. All right, 58.30 last trade, Jay. Overnight VWAP 58.23 in the ES. I know you're looking at 25s to the downside, I do believe, Jay.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah, looking at 25s, looking at how the market responds there. If we continue to sell, like I said, I don't want to sell this market. I'm okay being patient, waiting for a decent buy. Then we just look at 5800s, right in the middle of this that spike that we had. I mean, that was a 3-minute candle, 70 points in the S&P. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us trade back to at least 50% of that, which is at 5800s. But just looking at how the market responds to these levels, 40s was first, 25s here in a second.
Jamie, what do you think of the 13s? Those bottoms there after that big
Yeah,
spike to the upside,
I think that's a good spot to look as well, Hogue. I think if we get down there, I wouldn't be surprised to see us run those and then buy it on the way back up.
and then recover them. Yeah, I could see that.
All righty.
Pretty swift move down to VWAP here.
Yep.
Yes. ES and a NASDAQ. Last trade, the NASDAQ, 20,800. Down about, 100, 130 points since the opening bell. Look at the ES. Last trade, 58.26. Down about 25 points since the opening bell. Crude grinding higher a little bit. Take a look at the tilt. We got 71% short in the NASDAQ right now. Average price, 20,815. They're about 10 points in the money.
JD, if you're there, I don't hate cutting this crude trade. We're losing our edge in ADX here on the 3, the 5, the 30. We never had it. If you want to cut it, cut it.
There you go. Jack, I don't know if you have Jack, I don't know if you have yields up in. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, guys. You guys have this trade on. Are we keeping it or cutting it?
Just cut it.
Still valid?
28 exit price.
All right.
Cut it.
All right. House account is flat.
House account flat.
Jack, I want to throw it to you. Took a peek at 10-year
Yeah,
yields.
for sure.
Above 4.4%. I did see
Closer to
Run a little-
4.5, actually. We're at, here, I'll share this tab instead.
Yeah.
Kind of off to the races here. 4.457 10-year yield right now.
Right.
This is going back, we've eclipsed the highs from the 22nd of April. As we get closer to 4.5, something to keep an eye on. The spike puke, which I have some interesting thoughts maybe later if the markets slow down a little bit about what happened on this night that sent us near 4.6. But yields are rising. They bounced off this resistance zone here, and they have been up and away ever since.
They have. Closer to 4.5%. All right. Oh, ding dong.
I
I've
got
been
it.
asking for him. Eddie, who's here? There he is. Look at that
There he
handsome
is.
devil. Lower left-hand corner. Number
There we
6
are.
on the big board. Dakota, happy Monday. What are your thoughts? You got curtains behind you. I don't see a bear. I don't see a
Yeah.
bull. I don't see
Are you
charts.
still in
Curtains
Reno?
behind you.
Reno.
What are your thoughts?
Las Vegas,
What's up?
Jack.
Okay.
Tying up some loose ends. Look at this. Look at this meme coin. Look at this meme coin over here. This Nasdaq meme coin.
Oh boy.
We are just selling off right now since we opened. Like that's quite the dip. I'm a little surprised. I thought I was going to wake up with Nasdaq over 21,000, but no. Thoughts on this market? I don't know. I'm up $1,700 from slow markets, and then a couple of micros I held overnight. Where do we buy this? Do we buy this? I don't know.
I don't know either,
Question.
Dakota.
That's the beauty of all of this. We do not know. All right, upper left-hand corner of the screen, we got hashtag fast markets. Also use the hashtag power hour. Just up Top Step TV on the X. Send some cool performance dashboard analytics. Let's see those trader station setups. I know I say it every time, but I do love seeing those. Everyone loves seeing those. Maybe we get some ideas on what your setup looks like to help other traders here in the community. Again, hashtag power hour, hashtag fast markets at Top Step TV on the X. Well, Dow did turn around a little bit. Nasdaq and ES, not so convinced. Also, you heard Hogue talking about some daily levels. Where do you get those daily levels, you ask? Well, pinned to the top of the chat. See it right there. Click that open. Have some real estate on the screen. Those are updated before every New York Open. You want to do one better? Click on that indicators tab, top of TopStepX. Type in TopStep daily levels. Boom, have them overlaid right there on your charts. Also, 4,000 people already watching us on this great Monday. Where's everyone watching from all across the globe? I love doing this. Shout out to Geneva, Switzerland today. Colorado's
Nevada.
in the chat. Nevada, East Coast, Chicago, Estonia. 58.27 last trade in the ES.
Identify
Do it,
yourself
Desi
in the
Mark.
chat if you are Scott Besant or the Pope. I'd be
Jeez.
interested if either of those folks watch Top Step TV. JD did check our database. Pope Leo XIV has never traded with Top Step, unfortunately, but
That'd be incredible. That'd be absolutely incredible if
I
he
mean,
did.
we'd make him a VIP coach, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, we would. Yes, he would indeed. Oh, we got Dubai in the
Nasdaq
house,
fighting
Canada.
buyers at
Go ahead.
077s, 070s.
These 25s holding
It's
up so
VWAP.
far in the S&P. I didn't
Yeah.
buy it yet just because, sellers still have control so far since New York session started, but this is what I like to see, this kind of hesitation here. But not a clear signal to buy it just yet, but decent response here, kind of slowing down.
We had this pivot right here at these 770s in the London session in the Nasdaq, and I'm gonna be curious if we run stops and we bounce off of it. The next level I really have is gonna be 600 even. I mean, I'm looking at the immediate, not looking too far in the past, but yeah, if we see a bounce here, it would make sense. We just peaked below that, ran some stops, run liquidity, whatever you want to call it, these 775s, and we're seeing buyers step in back above 800. I'm not convinced
Yeah,
yet.
we're testing in the ES right around the March 25th highs before Liberation Day. All I can see on the screen right now.
Trump is talking soon.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Press conference with
Okay,
the
that's
health
kind of.
secretary. Yeah, could be. We'll get into yes any moment.
This mic makes me sound different.
Sounds good here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Not bad, just different.
All right, gold catching a bit of a bid, 32.45. Gold turned around about $7 or so in the last 5 minutes. Nasdaq holding up
Nasdaq
against.
it's gonna sell
VWAP,
through
go ahead.
this. No, I was gonna say there might be a short opportunity for a breakdown to get catch the boom out. Wow. All right. Too late.
There you go.
Too late. 20 points later.
Yep, selling through overnight VWAP now in the Nasdaq, about 20 points lower, 20,755 last trade there. Tilt back to 50-50. Keep an eye on those gold. Gold moving. Hey, Hogue, you still bullish on gold in the long term after what we're starting to see?
Boy, that's a hell of a
Headlines and stuff?
question. That is a hell of a question.
We fundamentally
Yes.
change. Okay.
Not yet. Here's
Gotcha.
here's the daily chart. So we are still in range. I don't think we break upside structure until we see acceptance below weekly kickoff low, which is 31.80. Not that far away. It's only $60 away. I mean, we could be there anytime. But I think we're still in a digestion, range bound consolidation, whatever you want to call it. area. And I think if we break that 3180 level, then we start looking to change market state. You know, the excess high from a couple of 3 weeks ago, the
Order filled. Order filled.
island top we had last week, those are all, you know, those are all reversal patterns. But have we reversed the bigger picture of the trend to the upside? Not yet. Not yet. See if we can get some play down here around this 3180. If we fail to break out, then I can see the market rotating back to the high of the balance area, which is basically weekly kickoff high 3436.
36.
I'm watching very carefully to see if there's a failed downside auction below the market today, if we get it. Otherwise, if we still see the equities kind of falling apart, then, you know, perhaps a breakout above the IB high, which is 3251.90, might be something we could look at for a continuation move to the upside. But just patiently waiting for the extremes of the initial balance here in gold before looking for any opportunities.
Nice, Hogue. He's ready to bring the fastball today on this Monday. I'll go fair.
Yeah,
Crude turn
Nasdaq's
around.
holding below that 780s, so I don't know if it wants to give it up or not. Indecision
Patience.
around these level, but yep, patience. Trump speaking. I could, yeah. Look, buyers coming in.
A lot of longs
So
in this
far.
market, short time frame longs in the
Order
overnight session.
filled.
So this could just be an inventory
yeah.
adjustment, give us better trade location to look for longs.
Okay.
All right, at VWAP.
Yep.
Yes.
Where's the most pain? That's the question. Where's the most pain?
Dakota, why do
longs.
you ask that? Why do you ask that, Dakota? When you're thinking that to yourself,
Stop loss
what do
is
you?
a better entry, right? If you want to
Yep.
get in long, then you want to get in when everyone is feeling that pain. So I don't think we're going to fill the gap. Now, anything can happen with Trump talking. The gap is way down there. Nasdaq up
Yeah, it is.
3.25%. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of a wait and see market, but buyers stepping in. We're holding back
Yeah,
above that.
we swept those lows
Go ahead.
from 3 o'clock in the morning. And if we recover those, it could be a good opportunity to hold VWAP.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to, Hogue. That 3 a.m. That we're trying to hold them, but is this going to be a classic support becomes resistance? It was support. Let's see if it becomes resistance here.
We were just talking about how the opening range trade has been very scarce in the equities, and of course today the opening range is the dead ass high so far.
Yes, it is. Go figure. Hey, Hogue, you heard Dakota talking about those gap, the gap from the Sunday reopen, another gap overnight here in the States. Real quick, do you have those handy? What are those gap prices?
All
Just
right.
in general.
Give me a
Last trade
second, and
yeah, I got you. Come back when you're ready. Last trade
I'll put 'em up here.
20,770 in the Nasdaq. Last trade 5820 in the ES. S&P's opened up around 5850. About 25, 27 points from there. Pretty much hovering around overnight VWAP in Nasdaq and ES for now. Gold
Let's
trying
find those
to
gap truthers.
Yeah.
They'll let us know if we close the
Couple of
gap.
them in there.
Draconian
Well,
gap.
there's lots of definitions of a gap. Like Friday's high was 5708 in the S&Ps, and the overnight low was 5734. Do we close the gap at Friday's high? Do we close the gap at settlement, which is all the way down here at 5678? It depends on how you define a gap. Now let's take a look in the Nasdaq and see what this one looks like.
Nasdaq failed to hold it. We might break down again here in the Nasdaq.
770 waiting right now. Yeah, Trump is scheduled to have a press conference with the health secretary. Haven't seen anything yet. I know he's getting the wire for that. Go ahead, Hogue.
So if you're looking to close the gap to the regular trading hour session from Friday to the low of the overnight session, that's 2030.
Order filled.
376 in the orders. down to 20,275. If you're looking to go all the way back to settlement to close the gap, the settlement is 20,136.75.
Hey, we're seeing gold here.